Talking about some warmer weather because we're talking now about our newest segment. It's called Patrick's Garden.
Yeah, you know, some of you may not know it, but actually here, Chief Meteorologist here is also the Chief Gardener here at the station.
Yeah.
He brings in lots of good vegetables for us to eat, and we just devour them very quickly.
Oh,
we love
that.
So Patrick's going to help you keep your garden in order.
Yeah, and you have to start somewhere. Yeah. And sometimes you have to start a little early to try to get a heads up on things. And, you know, sometimes I get antsy, especially when it's cold and I'm dreaming of spring.
Yes.
And here's one of the things that I do to try to get myself prepared for the beginning of the garden season. I know it's really cold outside, and wintertime it's been hard to get out and enjoy things, especially for you gardeners. But here's something that you can do to kind of get yourself prepared for springtime weather. You can actually start things a little early by planting a couple of cold weather crops and getting them in these little trays, so by the next 6 or 8 weeks they'll be ready to put in the ground. We're going to plant a little row or two of broccoli and some seedlings of cabbage as well. What really helps with these is that they're still cool weather vegetables, and so planting them even into early spring when you still have some frost danger, they'll still do okay. Notice how this soil is a little more what we call loamy, and it's a little easier to grow seedlings in, not like the regular potting soil that we use hardier plants with. Put it about 3/4 of the way up, and once again, it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, once I have my, little planting mix set in a tray, I want to go ahead and before I put any sort of seed down, water this to make sure that it gets good and soaked and saturated so our seeds won't get spread out too much whenever we try to plant them. Now I can go ahead and try to open up my little packet of seeds. And on a lot of these seeds, especially with these colder weather crop types, especially like broccoli and cabbage, the seeds are very small. So you'll get a good amount of seeds, but notice how small these seeds are. What I'm going to do in this case is just use a little pencil, about a 1/2 inch, and then you can just drop your seed, okay? And you just cover it up. Make sure it stays pretty moist. You can go ahead and maybe top it off with just a little bit more water. Don't overwater it to where it just runs out on a table or anything. And then once everything is set, you want to make sure it stays good and warm. You just don't want to put these things outside, especially on these cold winter days. So keep them by a windowsill if you don't have a hot house. Many of us don't have hot houses. So along a nice windowsill where it gets a lot of sunshine. And then every couple of days, you go ahead and make sure that the soil stays good and moist. And then hopefully in a couple of weeks, you'll see what we call germination. You'll see little green shoots and little plants come up.
Cool. And now Patrick actually taped that segment a couple of weeks ago, so yes, we actually have some germination. Now we've got a picture of it. Just a few days later, you can see them as we pull up the picture of the germinating seeds.
And here it is.
You'll be able to see them. There we go.
Little bitty broccolis and little bitty cabbages, and now the whole tray is full. And
fantastic.
so pretty happy so far. And make sure, obviously, you keep them out of this cold weather.
Oh,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, we do have a winner on our Facebook giveaway.